Today we're going to be talking about the nonprofit organization Tip of Texas Family Outreach. Now the question is, what does Tip of Texas do?
Texas Family Outreach addresses the problems of child abuse, parental counseling, and provides advice for teenage parents in between the ages of 12 to 19
What
years
is
old.
child abuse? Child abuse is the mistreatment of a child through harmful actions. It can be the neglection, physical, sexual, emotional, or psychological abuse.
Introduce to you a special interview that we made at Tip of Texas with their manager, Alma Herrera.
So this is our sharing closet, and what we do here is we accept donations from the community. A lot of times it's gently used clothes, and then sometimes also it's new clothes. And this is basically available to families in the community that are facing an emergency situation, whether they lost their job, their hours got reduced, maybe benefits were terminated. Some families end up being homeless or evicted from homes, or house burns down. Just different emergencies that can happen, and a lot of times they're not able to provide just basic needs for their kids. So BISD had a canned food drive back in November, and we were among one of the organizations that were a recipient of some of the canned goods. So that's what we have here. There was I believe a hospital that had a little pamper drive for us. So we were able to collect an assortment of Pampers, different sizes, and then just donations that come in. So what we do is families come in, they provide us the information, and then we're able to give them some clothing, some canned goods, and stuff like that. We don't do it on a monthly basis. You know, it's not something that we're not equipped to do. We're not the typical food pantry, so ours is on an emergency basis. But we make sure that the help stays here, because a lot of times word spreads, you know, la vecina, la comadre, la tía.
What kind of work do you do here in Tip of Texas?
Okay, well, we are a nonprofit child abuse prevention program. What we do is provide supportive services to families in the community to help them improve communication, strengthen family relationships, and help minimize the risk of abuse and neglect.
What is the goal of Tip of Texas Family Outreach this year?
This year particularly, raise more money so that we can reduce our long-term liability with the building. We used to be housed in a 2-bedroom unit, rent-free, many years ago at the Brownsville Housing Authority. And so when they were knocking them down, of course everybody had to move out, and so we were one of them. And we had to buy this building, but you know, it's very difficult from going to no rent to $1,000 a month. So one of the goals is to try to eliminate this debt.
Okay. How many people come asking you for help?
Last year we did for parenting 135. We served 135 clients, and for my baby and me was 35
For the whole year.
for the whole year.
So the numbers will vary depending on the programs that we have. For example, the My Baby and Me program is specifically for teen parents, ages 12 to 19. Last year alone, it was 35 individuals that we serviced. Right now, year to date, we have 15 cases already open since the year started.
And what type of programs do you have? Like, you have child?
Baby and me, and then.
Well, like the My Baby and Me, that one, like I said, that's specifically for teen parents. You can either be an expecting parent or already have a child. And what we do is we work with youth, ages 12 to 19, to teach them how to be good parents, how to bond with their child, how to be nurturing and empathetic, how to minimize their risk of abuse or neglect, especially if they themselves are being brought up in an abusive environment.
Problems you work with can be solved or prevented.
We believe so. Our purpose, of course, is to ensure that children are being raised in a safe, healthy, and nurturing environment. So by providing parents proper guidance, support, education, teaching them different skills, and to help them break the cycle of abuse or neglect in the home, I think a lot of these issues can be prevented, especially when you're a teen parent and you don't have a support system, or you don't know how to be a parent. You know, babies don't come with instruction manuals, and you pretty much are going to learn as you go. But when you're a teen parent, it's going to be much more challenging for you. So if we can teach them how to bond with their child, how to become nurturing, how to become involved in their everyday life, you know, they strengthen family relationships, they improve communication, and the cycle of abuse or neglect is either broken or minimized.
Which values are the most present here in tip of Texas?
Family, of course. Like I said, our goal is to ensure children are raised in a safe environment. So we believe that family is the building block of society. And so the parents that we work with, we want to make sure that they understand that family is first, and that being a parent is very rewarding, but it is the most difficult job you're ever going to have. So if you have that communication with your child and that relationship that is there, it's always going to be there. But if you start to fall apart since the very beginning, we've seen so many families that will come and tell you, I'm not the problem, it's my son, he's 12 years old. Well, have you ever been there for him? If the family is not involved in everyday life, you tend to see families drift apart. By the time kids are 13, 14 years old, they go their own way, parents are doing their own thing, and then you become influenced by, you know, friends, peer pressure, gangs, and all this stuff, and then you begin to have an array of other problems. So family is absolutely number one.
What has been one of the greatest difficulties tip of Texas has experienced, and how it was addressed?
It continues to be a difficulty, and that will always be a difficulty for nonprofits. Funding. Funding is crucial to the continued success of the organization, of any organization, because there's so many worthy nonprofit organizations out there. There's shelters and clinics and emergency food pantries, and it's just so many nonprofits out there that do good work in the community that funding sometimes is very tight. So when that happens, you know, you can have like 20 organizations submit an application for the same grant, and the pot of money might not be as high. So out of those 20, they might only select 10 or maybe 5. So what do the rest do? You have to come up with ideas to continue bringing funding to the organization. So
The problems that tip of Texas family outreach are dealing with can be related to a document that was written by the Supreme Pontiff Benedict XVI, which was known as Deus Caritas Est, which reading in 2005.
This document teaches that through spirit and love, we could heal our community by making it one. By doing this, we could rely on each other so incidents like this won't happen again.
So what can we do to help Tip of Texas family outreach? We can provide help to Tip of Texas in many different ways, such as providing donations, helping their labor work, and also providing help to those people that are going through the same troubles that Tip of Texas are helping in, which will cause their workload to lessen and help people who are going through difficult situations.
Excuse for child abuse.